Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate that you are here and going to spend some time listening to our podcast or watching on YouTube. We are so thankful for everyone that listens into us, and we love whenever you can comment or engage with us on social media or YouTube or whatever. We would love to start an open dialogue about some of the stuff we talked about. So today we are going to talk about
Structured water.
yes, structured water. Thank you, Rachel. I was like, oh man, let the words come.
Yeah.
So I know very little about this. I know a lot about like the sound part aspect of water and stuff like that. So I'm really interested in hearing more and learning more and not having to go and do my actual research on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm new to learning about structured water, and I just want to make it clear to everybody that we are no experts on any of the things that we talk
No.
about. We are just lifelong learners. We love to learn. We love to research and then apply it in our lives to our families to create better, more healthy, happy, peaceful lives for ourselves. And we think we're pretty good at it, at implementing these things into our lives, and just want to share that with you guys. And
Yes,
get your minds.
we're some doers over here.
Yeah. We just want to get everybody, we really want to try to like shift culture, get people thinking differently about how life really should be and how we should move within it.
Yes.
So yeah, so structured water really has grabbed my attention lately. It's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about it in the quantum biology field. So what is structured water? Structured water is also known as the fourth phase of water, or easy water, which stands for exclusion zone.
Oh, I was wondering why they called it easy water.
I
That
know.
makes I was like, what? Why is it
I
easy
know.
water?
Me too. They would call it easy water, easy water. And I was like, what is this about? Like, I thought it had something to do with it being like easy, but it has nothing to do with that, just because it's exclusion zone water. So, one out of every 100 molecules in our body is water. We are obviously, we are mostly made up of water. Water in a cup is at a liquid base. We all know that, right? Like water is very liquidy, but water in the body is structured, and it is more of a gel or like a honey consistency.
Oh, like kind of like the yellowish fluid that oozes out after you have a cut.
Maybe they use, I know in nursing school and everything we learned that is called cerebrum fluid. Um
That
but
sounds
I
like
mean, I
brain
guess
stuff.
because now when you're talking about structured water, you're so I learned that in the medical field, I don't think they're going to recognize that as structured water.
Oh, it's called just blood serum.
Yeah. But I mean, it could be. There could be structured water in that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, because that's even really liquidy.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be thick, like gel or honey. But so for example, if we cut ourselves and the water within our body was like water in a cup, it would just come gushing out.
Yeah.
So we need structured water for that. That's one very small reason why we need structured water. So structured water is called structured because it starts to arrange itself. When water comes into contact and into contact with hydrophilic surfaces, I don't know if everybody knows what hydrophilic and hydrophobic is. Hydrophobic means it repels water. Hydrophilic means it is water loving, and it attracts water, and it loves it. So all biological surfaces are hydrophilic. They love water, or
Yeah. Like your
everything inside
skin
of
will
our
take
body.
in like lotion and stuff. It will absorb it.
Yeah, everything inside of our body is hydrophilic. So when water comes into contact with our hydrophilic surfaces, it starts to structure itself into hexagonal shapes. Water in a cup isn't structured. It's not structured into these perfect hexagons, but in our body, it starts to take shape and form into sheets and sheets of hexagons.
Hmm.
And into that gel consistency. And the reason it is called exclusion zone is because it doesn't allow things to penetrate it, which is good for our health because it helps protect us. It helps protect our cells, our organelles, all of those things, proteins. I don't know. It helps protect things. Nothing bigger than a proton can penetrate it. Let's see. Oh, so water is H2O, right? But when it starts to turn into structured water, it turns into H3O2 because of the hexagon shape. I would have to show a picture.
Maybe H3O2 of the chemical structure.
Well, I'd have to show you how, because it's in the shape of a hexagon, you're having fractions of the hydrogen. So it's cutting all of the hydrogen molecules in half, and it's cutting the oxygen molecules into thirds. And when you count them, when you put all the halves and the thirds together and add them up, it creates 3 hydrogens and 2 oxygens.
Is this the theory for alkaline water?
I don't know.
Oh. Man, I'm having a hard time visualizing this.
Look, I could probably just hold my phone up to the screen really quick. It'll look, I got it.
H3O2
right here. This is a perfect explanation. Do you see how they now you see how it's blurred on the edges, but the part within the hexagon, it's cutting those blue circles, which is your hydrogen, in half, and it's cutting those red circles into thirds, which is your oxygen. Now, when you add all of the thirds of the oxygen together, you get 2 holes. When you add all the halves of the hydrogen together, you get 3 holes, which creates H3O2.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I mean?
Now. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that it changes its chemical structure, which is pretty interesting.
Because outside of the body, it wants to be the H2O structure. This was the part of chemistry that I did not do good with.
Yeah, I know. As I was reading, so I got the 4th Phase of Water book by Dr. Gerald Pollack. I believe he is. He's the scientist who discovered this, and or you would consider him the father of it. And it comes with all of, like, he has all these figures, because I got the audio book. Not a good idea. If you're going to get that book, get the real book. But they provide all the pictures. But dude, it's really complex. Very
like chemical, like chemistry.
Yeah.
Just like with cymatics was very like mathematically complex. This is very chemical complex.
Yeah, and it's a hard listen. It's not an easy listen, but very, very interesting. So also so as I told you, it creates these layers, right? So you have hexagonal structures, but then you have layers of the hexagonal
Just like
structures.
What a beehive would look like.
Yeah, but these layers, I think they can shift, right? Oh, and as they're shifting,
liquidy.
Yeah, the positive and negative charges come into contact with each other. It was through this process of the easy water being created, it creates a negative charge next to a positive charge. And through Dr. Pollack's research, it's shown that you can test the electrical potential of the easy water. So the easy water has a negative charge, and then the proton zone beyond it is the positive charge. And you can stick a microelectrode into the negatively charged exclusion zone and a microelectrode into the positively charged proton zone and light a light bulb.
Wow.
Yes. Which is energy. Like, right? So that changes a lot of things of how we thought the body functions. So we can light a light bulb with just that one area, right? This happens everywhere in the body where water can form, which is everywhere in the body. It's essentially creating a battery. And what charges the battery? Infrared light charges the battery, which is why it's so great for us to be in the sun, especially infrared light from the sun, the sunrise and the sunset. So this means that, have y'all ever heard of ATP, adenosine triphosphate,
Yes.
the main energy source of the body? What creates energy within us? Adenosine triphosphate. It's not the main energy source of our body. It plays a supportive role, but water
Hmm.
is. Water is the main
Wow.
energy source of the body.
That's
It's the
interesting.
true battery that the body
Maybe
draws
ATP
upon.
is like the backup generator.
Yeah, something like that, you know. And so this is why light, sunlight, grounding, and red light therapy build energy in the body. Our bodies are full of potential energy. So a good example of this is how you ever thought of when a tree, right? It pulls water from the ground and brings it up
Hmm.
to its stems, its leaves. Like, how does it do that? Right? It doesn't have a heart. It doesn't have a pump that pumps. It's because of water is it's charged, right? Like it has it. It's a battery. It's got energy. So it's pushing itself. It's the energy within it is what creates flow.
It
You
has
know.
its own resonant like vibration and energy inside of it, just like all cells have um that through their own respiration and vibrations. It must have its
Yes.
own because of its electrons and stuff.
Yes. So this gets to the heart. So the heart is not the only mechanism of flow in the body, and they even have many like scientists or doctors will argue that the heart really isn't even an efficient pump to propel blood throughout the body by
Hmm.
itself. The way it's structured and made, it's really not efficient. And like to further that theory, often red blood cells are larger than the capillaries that they have to squeeze into. If you don't know what capillaries are, we have our big arteries and veins, and then they go into arterioles and venules. I don't know if that's how you would pronounce it. Keep getting smaller and smaller, right? And the
Hmm.
smallest of those is capillaries. When
The
you
little
cut yourself,
capillaries you can get on your face, like if you throw up.
yeah, but they even get like microscopic to where you're not even going to
Oh
be able to
wow.
see them. They get very, very small. Well, sometimes so small that sometimes your red blood cells are bigger than the passageways that they have to pass through. And the amount of pressure the heart would have to push that through would be astronomical. So it's really unlikely that the heart is the only thing pushing this blood through. The water, the heart, and the vessels are all playing together to do
Hmm.
this. You
It's
know?
interesting.
Yes. So that's the breakdown of easy water. And it's just, I find it mind blowing because it's a huge energy source within our bodies. And it explains so much. It explains why we need sunlight,
Yeah.
why we need to be in contact with the earth, because the earth is, it's electrically charged. And when we put our bodies in contact with it, we're like closing the loop, they say, and it allows all the free electrons from the earth to flow into our body and, closing that loop and
And we're picking up on the vibrational frequency
just
of
all
it
of
and all
that,
that stuff,
you know?
and of everything outside the grass and everything, the
It
dirt.
just proves that we are truly part of nature. We are one with nature and we need to be within it. If we are completely disconnected from nature, then we're going to be sick. Our bodies are going to be in disarray and disease,
Hmm.
right? Because we need nature. We're part of it. It's like putting a plant inside of your house in a dark closet and expecting it to thrive. It needs the soil, it needs the light, it needs the water, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I can see how that makes sense, like with the water structure and with the electricity of water. I mean, we know that electricity passes through water.
yeah.
That's why you can't blow dry your hair in the bathtub.
Yeah. But see, we have a lot of things that are disorganizing our structured water. And this is why, another reason and probably a main reason why we are all so sick. Like one of the foundational reasons when you really dig deep to the like root causes of things.
Hmm.
Um, we're all just so dehydrated and depleted because first of all, a lot of us are drinking bottled water or reverse osmosis water or distilled water, which I drink distilled water, which
Hmm.
it's clean, but it's doesn't have any minerals. It's not structured. Same with
Wait,
reverse
you're
os.
drinking distilled water?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like really bad. You shouldn't drink distilled
Are you
water.
drinking reverse osmosis water?
We we remineralize it.
Yeah, I remineralize mine too. So it's the same shit.
Oh, yeah. Then
Um,
you're not
but
drinking
like if you're
distilled water.
not remineralizing it, then it's not good, And
Yeah,
most
no,
people
you're not
aren't.
supposed to. Like if
You're
you're just buying the bottle from the grocery store of distilled water, then
yeah.
that's like not good to drink.
And I mean, most likely any kind of bottled water from the grocery store, you'd probably want to remineralize. I don't think any of that is gonna, unless you're buying like mineral water.
Spring water, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, if you trust that, I don't.
I don't know. I mean, you shouldn't be drinking bottled water anyway because the amount of microplastics in it is
Yeah.
so bad for us that it negates any of the qualities. I mean, yes, if you're dying of dehydration, it's better to drink a bottle of water than to like go dehydrated, but I wouldn't make it my predominant source of water
Yeah, we're
supply.
about to try to get a reverse osmosis system. We just didn't have one, so that's all we can do. But yeah, so you really want to remineralize your water for sure. We I just add salt, sea salt.
Oh, okay.
But you can buy electrolytes and
Yeah, I'm
things
not
like that.
sure. We have a filter that does it with the RO machine. Not machine,
Yeah.
but
So some of the things that are diminishing our easy water are glyphosate, Roundup,
ugh,
which
I hate
is,
glyphosate.
in so much of our food now. It's also in our air, our water, because it's leached from these agricultural mono crops, all of that. It's everywhere. So you
Yes.
definitely, want to try and buy your food from local farms, ideally, but if not, then organic label. Uh,
Yeah.
you should, at least with the organic label, should be able to not have glyphosate in your food.
Yeah, except that the problem is that they, have
It
fields right
leaches.
next to each other and it's going to overspray into the, organic field. It's usually not something organic grown all by itself in a
Yeah.
huge plot of area. There's going to be conventional fields like, probably right next to it,
It's just
from
your
what I
next best
understand.
option if you're not going to
Yeah, I
buy from
know.
local
Nothing's
farms.
perfect.
Um, EMFs, that's a huge one. They are EMFs are so big, and we need to do a podcast about that one. That's something I've been doing a lot of research on. Being next to 5G towers, I have one 3 houses down from me, a 5G
Oh,
tower.
really?
Yes. And I'm starting to think, look, I cannot sleep at night. I have insomnia, and I am doing every single thing right to make sure I get good sleep. I go to
Hmm.
sleep when 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock every night. I wear my blue light blocking red glasses as soon as it gets dark outside. I try not to eat after 7, which should be sooner than that. I should stop at like 5 or 6, but 7 is the best I could do for now. I try not to eat things that are going to spike my glucose. I unplug my Wi-Fi. I don't charge my phone in my room. I mean, I'm doing all the things. I have a grounding mat in my bed, and I'm still struggling. And I'm wondering if it's this 5G tower. Nick also says that when we go to the cabin, he gains weight every time. And he's like, I wonder if it's her water system. I'm like, I don't think it's that, because we're drinking plastic water, bottled water from plastic. And I'm like, Nick, I don't think that would be, like, we're only there for a week. I don't think that would make a significant difference. I was like, I think they probably, isn't the internet kind of shit over there?
Well, the internet that we have, it's radio.
So there's no 5G towers.
No.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, we are right next to a 5G tower, our
Yeah.
house. I think that has a lot to do with a lot of our problems. But so yeah, EMFs are a big one, and you want to try to mitigate that as much as you possibly can. Um, Anesthesia, which surprised me because it didn't surprise me actually, but it kind of connected some dots for me because, like I had mentioned before, I had a nose job. That was the last
Mhm.
surgery I had. After that surgery, my skin on my face went to shit. And I think it might be a role of easy water. Like how I said, it's an exclusion zone, right? It stops things from penetrating. and maybe it diminished it in my face somehow. I don't know. This is just total theory, just me thinking.
Well, they don't even understand how anesthesia works. They know that it does work, but they
Oh,
don't understand why.
this is some doctor who says that this study shows that anesthesia does the same thing indeed. And she means in that it's diminishing easy water. If anesthetics work by blocking nerve signals, which are propagated via ion gradient changes, it's possible that diminishing the easy is actually the mechanism by which they do their job.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's saying that it's possible that that's how they work because they are just diminishing the easy water that would probably block the, you know, um,
Like
so
it's making it more viscous to
so it
where
says
you
if it,
urinate out of
well, it
less
says if
viscous.
I think like what they're saying is that the easy water would be blocking the anesthesia from working, right? But it diminishes the easy water, so now they're able to.
Pass through it.
Is what I'm thinking. That's how I'm interpreting that. But either way, that's her theory of how it might be working. She's saying that it's diminishing the easy water for the anesthesia to work. So I don't know.
Diminishing the exclusion zone, right?
Yeah.
And the exclusion zone is what's protecting it, right? That's like the protons on the outside, you said, is the exclusion zone.
Yeah. Well, the exclusion zone is what's protecting like everything in our body. It's surrounding everything, because
And that's the hexagonal structure,
yeah,
is the easy.
yeah,
So it's taking away the structure,
yeah,
maybe. Interesting.
yeah. I don't know. That's just like her theory, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it's pretty cool. And since you said that they don't know how it works, I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
It's like so crazy. We were watching some documentary about it and they were saying how they don't even understand how it works, which is really crazy.
I know. See, and that's a good. I'm glad you said it because it's like so many people think that they have it all figured out. Like we put this blind faith in doctors and scientists, and because we just assume that they've got this, they know, which they do, right? Like they've done this a million times. They know what to do for anesthesia, all that. But I'm saying like the science behind it and why it works and how it happens, they don't always know. They
Yeah.
know that it's going to work because they've done it a million times.
Hmm.
They
But
don't.
in this case, they don't even understand why. And it's like such a big thing. How do we not understand how we're asleep when we're being operated on? It seems like scary.
Yeah,
If you don't understand it, then how do you make sure it works
it's safe.
properly or
How do
safe?
you know
Yeah.
it's safe? And that is the main thing in healthcare is they don't know if a lot of things are safe because they don't understand everything there is to know if it's safe.
Yeah.
And that's just like the recurring theme.
I know I
But
always get really sick after I have anesthesia,
that anesthesia messed me up in so many ways, dude. Like, but my skin has just been awful since. Like, ugh. And that's my main thing I've been struggling with and trying to fix, and it's been very, very hard. It's
Yeah.
gotten better, but not all the way. So that kind of like made me think: is that what caused it? Because
Who knows?
that was the turning point exactly. But so another thing that diminishes our easy water is oxidative stress and dehydration or lack of electrolytes.
Hmm.
And I'm sure those aren't all of the things, but those are some main things that are diminishing the easy water within our body. And when you know that easy water is like your main energy source within your body, you want to make sure that you're replenishing it and keeping it going and
So
healthy.
oxidative stress is linked to poor diet, smoking, drinking alcohol, medicines, environmental factors like radiation, toxins, air pollution, pesticides, and sunlight.
Yeah.
So all that
They
stuff
say
causes.
sunlight, but
Oh, yeah.
I know I read that one too because I looked up what oxidative stress was too. And because I always hear that and I kind of understand it, but I don't really at the same time. And
Yeah.
when they said sunlight, but I guess that's a matter of opinion.
Well, so what John Stewart Reed, the sound guy, is that there's obviously too much of everything is a bad thing, you know?
Yeah.
So too much sun is bad. It will
Yeah.
cause damage. And same thing with sound. Too high of a sound frequency is bad, you know?
Well, too much of anything is bad. Too much water is bad. Too much anything
So too
is
much
bad.
sunlight is bad, you
Yeah,
know? We know
of
that.
course.
So of course it would be oxidative stress because we know that it like degrades cells and stuff like that.
If that's how they mean it, but I don't think that that's how they mean it. But
Really?
yeah, I think
Like you
because
trying to say that they're just saying like, oh, sunlight is so bad.
yeah, a
Stay
lot of people
away.
say sunlight is bad. Your dermatologist is going to tell you sunlight is bad. If you have skin cancer, they're going to tell you sunlight is bad. A lot of people say sunlight is bad.
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
very common. And the sunlight does put off electromagnetic I don't
Waves.
know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
that's right.
but it's natural forms of it and it's not the same thing.
As like a
But
5G tower.
right. And
We're
so
in
it's
nature. Nature's fine.
right.
It's these unnatural things like 5G towers are the ones that we have to be careful of, not this. I mean,
Right.
yes, you have to be careful of the sun. Like don't go out in the sun for 12 hours with no protection whatsoever. Yes, you'll burn and you will fry. I mean, I would fry if I did that. And it's bad, but like going off in the sun for 20 minutes is fine, you know.
It's good for
It
you.
should be fine. You may have to work your way up to it, but you know, if you
Yeah.
like burn easy, you need to get out there without sunglasses and whatnot. But anyway, that's another.
Yeah. So the ways to create easy water naturally is obviously to drink more water. Make sure you're mineralizing your water, put electrolytes. You don't want to just drink empty water. Um,
Empty water.
yeah, I guess that's just me. That's me calling it that. I don't know if that's like an
That's
actual
funny.
thing. I'm just saying. I'm calling it empty because it's, there's nothing in it. You want to go out in the sun. So it's kind of contradicting what that just said. But especially during the sunrise and the sunset, because that is when the infrared rays are highest. And that is also the best time to go out if you do burn easily, because the UV rays are less at that point. And that
Mm-hmm.
is the best overall time to get your dose of sunlight. You want to go in the morning and in the evening. And I mean, not that all UV light is bad. You still should get some of that too. Just go out for short periods during the day when you can.
Yeah.
Anyway, also, red light saunas and red light therapy devices are really, there are so many health benefits in that. I've been looking into that lately. I really want to get some. I want to make like a little red light therapy room. And uh they're kind of expensive, and you want to make sure you're getting some from a reputable company. I know one, it's like Solio Well. I'd have to
Mm-hmm.
link it, but she hand tests. She's a small company, and she hand tests every single device to make sure that they work properly and that all of the lights are operating at the right, you know,
Oof.
frequency or whatever.
Like brutal.
Um, so if I get one, I'm definitely getting it from her, because what company does that, right? What company hand tests every single device before it's sold? Um, she's very passionate about it, and she's making sure that everything is made correctly. So I highly suggest red light therapy devices. I really want to get one for myself. Eating good quality whole foods, because whole foods are filled with easy water, just like we are, right? The animals we eat, the plants we eat, they're filled with easy water, and obviously good quality, right? Like you don't want to eat meat from CAFOs or non-organic plants, because they're probably not filled with easy water, or not as much as you would if it were grown naturally.
Yeah.
And grounding, because the earth is negatively charged, and when you connect yourself with it, you close the loop, and it's an infinite supply of electrons, and the negative charges will fill the cells and build easy water.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing is, they're saying you can put your water out in the sunlight for a short period. Obviously not too long. You don't want all kind of crap falling in it, bugs, whatever. But just putting it out in the sunlight for a short period. Remember, the sunlight is full of information. Like, I want to say protons. I'm not sure, but it's full of information. physical information that when it makes contact with your eyes, your skin, the water, it is relaying information to it. And if it hits your water, it's gonna, energize it, create, maybe make it more structured. So that's another way that you can structure your water. They even have like devices. I think they've even said that you can create a vortex, like just swirling it around.
Hmm.
And they have like special devices for that. I mean, I don't know if you need a special device to swirl water around,
Well, if you
but
subject water to frequencies from a speaker, you will also have it arranged in the cymatic pattern.
yeah, yeah, you know. So
Cymatic
it's
pattern water.
yeah, and again, water has memory. They say so. I was listening to a podcast and they were saying, I don't know exactly how, like, what all the technicalities are of it, but supposedly because water has memory, you can hold up a glass of water and so she said she got her daughter to hold a glass of water and to put her energy into it, to think of something. So her daughter thought of waves in the ocean, and you have to be intentional. Like you can't do it and scoff and be like, "Oh, this is so stupid," huh? And then think of something. It wouldn't work. Like you have to actually focus your mind and your energy into it and think of something, and then you freeze it. And then when they took it out of the freezer, it looked like waves in the ocean, and it doesn't always work. They say like you have to do it right,
Yeah.
but it's just interesting and plays on the plays on the role of water having memory.
Well, that's interesting. I was just thinking of holy water and why would that be so valued, right? And it's because they like pray onto it like a
Yes.
manifestation, almost a prayer. And
Yes.
they're essentially trying to change the structure of the water to convey that message.
I'm so glad you brought that up because yes, that's exactly right. Yeah.
It's interesting. So like so now like think about it like that. What's the purpose behind this? They weren't just making holy water for no reason, right? There must have been some reason that
And they
that
knew that,
exists.
you
Yeah.
know because those ancients, they knew everything. I keep saying that. I'm obsessed with like the ancient civilizations. I just feel like they were so smart and they knew all the things that I want to know.
I am interested about the cymatics, water, and how that role that plays, patterns and things like that is really intriguing.
Yeah, I really want to dig deeper into all of that, cymatics, sound, and how it plays a role, just energy, frequency, sound, and light and water. I feel like these are foundational to
Yeah,
everything.
it's really eye-opening. Really makes you expand your mind on like what status quo is, you know?
Yeah. And knowing that these things are foundational, like they're foundational to health,
Hmm.
and understanding these things can help you to find health, like real health. you know we can take prescription medications all day long. We can do surgeries and medical procedures, but I think the key is getting back to nature and what's natural. Yes, we need surgeries and some medications, of course. Like Nick, he's got hypothyroidism. He has to take levothyroxine every day, and he needs it, but I think he's been getting better. His levels are getting better each time because he's getting closer to nature. We've
Mm.
been focusing on getting that sunrise every morning. He even walks barefoot in the yard now. He eats very clean foods now. We're remineralizing the water. We're doing all of these things. We're working on our mental status, like
Hmm.
being positive and communication and all of these things, and we're seeing results. We have to get back into nature and where we belong, and it doesn't mean we have to give up all of the things we like about the modern world, but we need to learn how to coexist with them in a healthy way
Yeah.
while still embracing nature, right?
Yes. I know this lady I met this weekend, she said that she goes on meditation walks in nature. She goes on this hiking trail and goes for a walk. I mean, goes for like an hour and a half. I was like, oh my God, I could never walk that long.
I
But
could if I didn't have kids.
but that made me like I want to tell my dad like, I feel like you should go find somewhere in nature in Homa and like take walks because
Oh
even if
yeah.
it's just a short walk to get in nature, and see how powerful that can be.
We have a bunch of great trails here now.
Yeah.
And yes, like you can when you if you pray or meditate outside in the sunlight and being grounded at the same time, people say that it's so much more powerful being out in nature than
And
in your
doing that.
house or
Yeah.
wherever, you know?
And this class that I did last week, and we were outside the whole day, and I really think that had a profound impact on the message
Yeah,
and how it was received.
I believe
It
that
was like
100%.
very powerful for me.
And that proves that that's where we need to be, you know? That's where we belong.
Yeah, I truly believe that. And all signs are pointing to that. All things we talk about point exactly right there that the answer is in nature. And nature has these great like secrets
Yes.
and these cool things that it does. And it's really amazing to be a part of that, and to learn more and experience life.
Yeah, and like you said, just learning about this is just opens your mind. And the more you
Yes.
open your mind, the more you learn so much, and you're just intrigued. You know, it's
Yeah.
intriguing.
And we can't have the answers for everything,
No,
and what's the harm in thinking something that's healthy?
right?
Like the stuff we're talking about is all just like healthy things. It's not like we're like, oh, go do something really bad, you
Yeah, like
know.
it's not gonna cause any harm to you.
Yeah, to like drink water and
Right. And just because we might not be able to, like you said, we don't have to have a study to back everything up, especially if it's not causing any harm. When people are showing benefits from doing these things, and I mean, come on, let's just use our brains. You know, it makes sense. It just does.
yeah.
It makes sense. And people are proving it that they're through personal experience that it's working for them.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I'm really
yep.
into it. There's all kind of cool stuff out there. Gaia is like really cool. They have like a lot of really cool stuff. But there is some crazy stuff that's hard to wrap my brain around. I mean, I'm trying not to be like super dismissive of some of it, but some of the stuff is a little bit further out there.
Yeah, it is. I'm all for it, but
All right, guys, we really hope you enjoyed today's episode. And we hope you expanded your brain and maybe want to um, dive deeper in this. I'll definitely link some of the stuff we talked about. But we appreciate your time and we hope you join us again next week.
bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye, guys.